What impact will Toyota's decision to recall 100,000 Tundras have on the resale value? Hmm, that is a good question. Hey, it's Tim. Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I cover trucks and SUVs along with managing editor Jill Simonello. We're journalists, and this is our job. This is what we do. If you're a returning viewer, I've been on vacation last week, and so get ready. Got a lot of great content coming for you, including this video. Yeah. So I reached out to Kelley Blue Book and also reached out to IC Cars, and I have details on Carvana, which is showing my old Tundra's resale value in the last several months. Yeah, I got some good data for you guys. We'll sift through this, and you guys can kind of tell me in the comments below whether it's factual or BS or whatever you guys think. But I'm going to give you the data. You decide. That's what's going on. So let's go ahead and get the details. If you don't recall, this story came out in May. It was the big recall. So Toyota recalled 100,000 trucks, 2022, 2023 Tundras. They had engine failures. The hybrid is not part of that. The 24s are not part of that. This is what we got. This is what we know as of today, Thursday, August 8th. I'm recording this at 2:31 p.m. That's what I know. And so the fix now that was announced last month was a full engine replacement per the Toyota newsroom language, new engine. Okay, so they're going to have new engines in these trucks. And a lot of people are saying, well, how does this impact resale value? As I've covered before, we've had some people having a little bit of issues trading it in. Some dealers said no, some dealers said yeah, but they've been lowballing them, giving them the wholesale number, which is quite a bit less than what they were going to get on a trade-in. I'm hearing people say $10,000 difference in price. So people either fear selling and getting out as fast as they can, and they're getting rid of it because they have, well, fear selling, or they have valid reasons. Like I've talked to guys who are saying, I drive across the Arizona desert all the time. I can't have a truck where I have a question mark on the engine. I go vacation with my family all the time. I can't have a truck question on the engine. I totally get it. So there's those guys who are selling the trucks for a lot less, which to me would impact resale value, right? It makes sense. If you start selling a bunch of truck for lowballing, the numbers would tell you the resale value is going down. I think that makes sense. But people are going, how much? And I just was on Facebook, I don't know, last week on a Toyota group, and the guy said he lost like $8,000 since like January. So let's see what's going on. So I went back in time and I got this truck. This is my 2022 Toyota Tundra. I had back in 2022, I think when I bought it, whatever, we had a big update for this truck. So I happen to still have my VIN number for this truck. Yes. And so I went ahead and went to Carvana and I typed my information in, my zip code, and I just said, the truck's in great condition. It's got 50,000 miles or whatever. I just threw a number at it. I just was throwing some information at it, just trying to get to what the system would show me. And it says that the value has been dropping pretty bad since March 17th. So March 17th, the value was $43,040 in the span of, let's see, April, May, June, July. 4 months, it has dropped down to $36,600. That's a big drop to me. That's $6,000 or so in 4 months. So to me, that really speaks to recall. If you see, there's a line on the screen you're seeing on your screen on this website, and this line kind of goes, all of a sudden, it just goes right down, right about June, July, end of May, right when the recall is happening. So hey, there's details for you. The recall is definitely impacting resale value. You're gonna lose $6,000-7,000. But hold on. I told you, I got more sources for you. So Jeremy Robb is the Senior Director of Industry and Economic Insights at Kelley Blue Book. So we sent an email out. Jill actually reached out to them and got an email back. I'm going to read this email, then I have a bunch of numbers we're going to kind of sift through over here on what's going on. So Jeremy Robb says, overall for wholesale values, well, I scrolled too fast. Hold on. Wholesale values in 2024, then 1 year has depreciated 5.2%, the 2-year 4%, 3-year 2.5%, and 4-year 4.1%. There's a box in this chart I'll show you. So we're looking at how much wholesale values have depreciated in a year, and 2 years old, and 3 years old, and 4 years old. For Toyota, the 1 year is down more, falling 7.3% this year, but the 2 year is only down 2.9%, and 3 year down 1.9%, and 4 year down 4%. So the 1 year for Toyota is worse, but the 2 and 3 year are clearly better, holding value better than the market overall. For Toyota, for the Tundra itself, the 1 year has depreciated 9.6% this year. The 2 year has fallen by 7.1%, both more than the market and Toyota overall. So the Tundra itself is currently depreciating faster than the market and Toyota overall. However, the third year is up 0.5%. It appreciated this year, and the 4 year is up 3.7%. So 3 year would be, if this is a 2024 model we're looking at right now, the 3 year would be a 2021, right? That's how I see it. Correct me in comments if I'm wrong. Let's read the comments. So I'm seeing the 1 year and 2 year depreciating pretty fast, but the older trucks are actually, the 3 year old is actually appreciating. The V8 is appreciating in value versus the newer trucks. Now, he gives more details though. The decline in the Tundra for the 1 year and likely 2 years, mostly incentive driven, as the near new units are highly impacted by new vehicle incentives. The Tundra incentive of the average transaction price has risen 6% in June from 0.6% a year earlier. So, and that's a big change. He's saying for all Toyota, the incentive has gone from 2.3% to 3.3% over the course of a year. So Toyota is offering more incentives. So it's up a 1 point for all Toyota, but not more than the 5 points like the Tundra. And the market overall incentive has risen 2.2 points to 6.4%. So what he's saying here is that the Tundra is getting more incentives put on it, trying to move these trucks because we have some bad news in the press. It makes sense. So for the near new 1 year and maybe 2 year, the incentive increases for Tundra definitely have impacted resale and wholesale value. It's interesting. It doesn't talk about the recall at all, but I think that's got to be in there somewhere. But over the long term, the product is definitely holding value more this year than both the market overall and also Toyota overall as a brand, as it shows appreciation so far this year. So let's get to these numbers. So there, I'll show you this chart. Let me close this down and move this over a little bit. I'll try to put it in the screen the best I can. What am I doing? Oh, I need to move it over. There we go. So we have all vehicles. We have a week one, which is the current week, a week one of the year, current week, the Manheim market report. That's the wholesale value report. I don't know exactly what that means. Let me know. I Googled it a little bit. I think what I want to focus on is year-to-date depreciation. I'm not gonna dive too deep into Manheim market report. I'm not gonna do a bunch of research on it. What I'm really interested in is year-to-date depreciation. So 1-year-old vehicles year-to-date are down 5.2%. 2-year-old 4%, 3-year-old 2.5%, and 4-year-old 4.10%. All Toyota vehicles, if you look at all Toyota, down 7.3%, down 2.9%, down 1.9%, and down 4%. Okay. Looking at just the Tundra year-to-date depreciation is down 9.6% in the 1-year-old Tundra. You can see these numbers. It was 53,816 week one. The current week is 48,660. Year two is down 7.10%. So 1 year old and near new and 2 years old. So the last couple of years of trucks have depreciated quite a bit and quite a bit more than Toyota overall does. 3-year-old has appreciated. Again, those people are buying those 2021 models. And how I read this, they're buying the 2021 models, the V8s and things. They don't want the newer turbos. And we have the engine issue with turbos even creating more bad news. And the 4-year-old is down 3.7%, which is interesting. It says 3.7%, but actually his numbers show that it's actually up a little bit. So I don't know the math there. It looks a little funky to me, but okay. So we know from Kelley Blue Book that it is true. The prior generation, the depreciation is not as much, and sales are going up. Now, I did talk to a couple of Toyota salespeople about this, and they said that's pretty typical. It's pretty typical in that when new vehicles come out, pricing is usually pretty high, and there's a lot of concerns about reliability in new vehicles. So it's not unusual to see this, and it's not unusual to see it in today's marketplace. But it is interesting to see Toyota overall versus Tundra. Now, looking at one more source for you guys. Last source I had pulled up, I'd emailed 4 or 5 people, and this is what I got back to me. We have iSeeCars.com. iSeeCars.com is basically like a Cars.com competitor. And they talk about Toyota Tundra resale value and depreciation. So they created this whole chart for me. They literally sent this to me. So this is pretty cool. Depreciation is the single biggest factor. So what they're saying is a new Toyota Tundra for them depreciates 26.8% after 5 years, resulting in a resale value of $29,240. In comparison, the full-size pickup truck category loses 39.7% over the value after 5 years. So Toyota Tundra overall is one of those trucks that keeps its value better than the competition. For the context, the 5-year depreciation of all pickups is 36%, and for all vehicles, 42%. So trucks hold their value better than other vehicles. Okay, so we're going to look down on this chart. I'm looking for the things. After 3 years, Toyota Tundra sees depreciation 15.6%, resale 33,749. 7-year depreciation is 37.7%, 10-year depreciation is 50%. So in 10 years' time, you should lose 50% of what you spend on the truck. But this is an interesting chart because this chart kind of throws cold water on Kelley Blue Book's claims, which I find interesting. So the Toyota Tundra depreciation after 3, 5, 7, and 10 years. So you can see on your screen, Toyota Tundra is the one on the bottom. It's red. We have all pickups is blue. All full-size trucks are blue. All pickups are yellow. All cars are green. So we can see the chart really shows the Tundra outshines all the competition in trucks and especially all full-size trucks, but they keep the value better in cars. So looking at Toyota Tundra depreciation resale value, this is what I want to get to. This is what the cold water was. 3 years depreciation, residual value amount. So they're saying in 3 years, depreciation should be better than the competition. And then direct depreciation comparison, looking at the Tundra, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, and looking at all full-size pickups, all cars. You can see the Tundra does a much better than the competition easily. And what I found is interesting is they actually pulled us some hybrid information, which is fascinating because hybrid's only been out a couple of years, but they're basing this on sales and other information from their methodology, looking at their overall sales. And they say that Toyota Tundra, the hybrid itself, outperforms competition in all pickups, cars, and the all other pickups. So that was interesting. So depreciation, resale value, how they see the resale value going, the residual value, and residual value overall. So they're saying the hybrid gets 19.5% after 3 years, and the regular gas engine gets 15.6%. Okay, or they split it out. It's interesting to see what they did. So that's what they have. So the depreciation has gone better for companies like IC Cars. Kelley Blue Book, that looks at the wholesale value of information of vehicles and of trucks and things, says no. The resale value on the last 2 model years of the Tundra, which would be, let's see, this is the 2024, so say doing 2023, 2022s, depending on, it could be 24, 23s. It depends how you look at those numbers. But a near new or a 1-year-old to me would be a 2023 model. That depreciation is not doing as well as other Toyota vehicles overall. And you're seeing a big drop in those numbers. And then looking at the Carvana information, right? So that was the first screen I showed you guys on my Carvana tracker. For my truck, I bought the 2022 model that is affected by the recall. My truck would be affected by the recall. You can see the value has dropped $6,000 in the span of a couple months. So I anticipate IC Cars catching up. I anticipate Kelley Blue Book showing this recall impact in that truck in future years. But right now, the data we have says, yeah, I think the recall is impacting the resale value of the Tundra. I think those stats and data show that it's impacting the recall. The recall is impacting resale value. I think people are getting a lot of concern. Now, the bigger question is going to be: let's say you hold on to your truck and the recall gets done. You have a brand new engine. Would that impact your overall resale value? That's going to be something we're going to have to see how it plays out. That's going to be something that consumers are going to see how it plays out. Frankly, from my standpoint, if I get the Carfax that says a brand new engine was put in, it creates a question. Then I say, oh, it's part of the recall. And I say, okay, well, hey, I can buy this truck with a brand new engine. Maybe I feel good about that. Or maybe you don't. I've seen people go both ways in this. They don't trust the dealership technicians to put it in, or they do trust dealership technicians to put it in. So there's a lot of question mark for that. But right now, today, I can tell you that looking at the Carvana information, the Kelley Blue Book information, and a little bit of IC Cars, that yes, the recall is impacting the Tundra, and you will lose thousands if you're a current owner. And so you really got to stick it out or take the loss. It's really the two choices, and they both suck. For things that don't suck so bad, more videos. Yes, check them out over here in the channel. Website down below is pickuptrucktalk.com. I'll create a story and I'll put all this data in that story, and you guys can kind of sift through that if you'd like to. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.